It all began with a text message I never should have seen, my heart racing as I read the words that shattered my world. "I miss you too. Can't wait to see you again." The moment I realized my husband, Miles, was cheating on me with his ex, a wave of nausea crashed over me, and I was left gasping for air. Everything I had built my life around crumbled into dust, leaving me adrift in a sea of betrayal. The days that followed were a blur of anger and despair, my mind a whirlwind as I plotted how to confront him. When I finally gathered the courage to face Miles, the hurt that twisted my features only seemed to stoke his defensiveness. "You're overreacting, Jada. It's just a text," he snapped, dismissing my anguish like it was a mere inconvenience. I felt my heart harden. He didn't even see me anymore. Sleepless nights turned into a torturous ritual of replaying every moment I thought we were happy, each happy memory tainted by the bitter truth. Our intimacy had dwindled for months, but now I understood why. He had given his affection to another. Laying alone in bed, the silence felt like a suffocating weight, a reminder that the love I once cherished was now an echo of my own pain. The day I discovered Miles was planning to leave me for her was when my spirit shattered completely. I overheard him talking to his brother about moving her in once the divorce was filed. My heart splintered and a cold rage bubbled inside me, threatening to consume everything. I was furious, not just at him, but at myself for being so blind, so willing to believe the lies he spun. The harsh reality of our marriage hit me like a slap. I had been the one carrying us emotionally and financially. Miles had quit his job right after our wedding, and I was left to shoulder the weight of our lives alone. I had inherited a small fortune, and instead of using it for our future, he had squandered every dime, leaving me feeling like a fool for trusting him. Sitting on the edge of our bed, I made a decision. If he wanted to vanish into the arms of another woman, then I would ensure he'd never touch my money again. I started liquidating everything, my inheritance, my savings, my 401k, all to shield myself from the impending financial storm. The more I took control, the more empowered I felt, like a phoenix rising from the ashes of our shattered marriage. As days morphed into weeks, my anger became the fuel that propelled me forward. I packed a small bag under the guise of an emergency trip and left our home without a backward glance. My heart pounded with fear and exhilaration as I drove away, embracing the liberation that came with reclaiming my life for the first time in years. In a desperate attempt to stay off the radar, I visited an old friend and proposed a vehicle trade, paying in cash to avoid being traced. Each transaction felt like a small victory against Miles's betrayal, yet late at night, loneliness crept in like a shadow, whispering reminders of what I had lost. I was free, but the emptiness gnawed at me, like a relentless predator lurking in the dark. The motels were a stark contrast to the home I had built with Miles. The solitude was deafening, and I often found myself staring at the ceiling, wondering if I would ever feel safe and loved again. I missed companionship, yet I couldn't trust anyone anymore, not even myself. One evening, while grabbing dinner at a local diner in a small Montana town, I overheard a couple discussing their need for extra help on their farm. My heart leaped at the idea of hard work and a fresh start, so I approached them and offered my labor in exchange for a place to stay. I was desperate for a chance to rebuild my life, to escape the wreckage of my past. Bill, the farm owner, scrutinized me with a critical eye, and for a moment I felt exposed, like a raw nerve laid bare. But after a tense pause, he nodded, granting me a chance. His wife, Colleen, welcomed me with open arms, and for the first time in weeks, I felt a flicker of hope ignite within me. Maybe this was the escape I needed, the chance to rise from the ashes. Settling into a small cabin on the ranch, I was enveloped in the sounds of nature, the fresh air filling my lungs like a balm. The physical labor was grueling, but it grounded me, reminding me of my resilience. Each day, I worked alongside Bill and Sam, a ranch hand with his own story of betrayal, and he quickly became my confidant and ally. The ranch breathed life back into me. The hard work filled my hours, and I was amazed at how strong I felt after weeks of labor. Pulling weeds from the fields became a meditative routine, offering me a sense of peace I hadn't felt in years. Piece by piece, I was beginning to heal, transforming pain into purpose. Then everything shifted when Bill's daughter, Caitlyn, returned home. She was stunning, with fiery red hair and piercing blue eyes that seemed to see right through my carefully guarded exterior. Our initial interactions crackled with tension. She was suspicious of my presence, and I was on edge, terrified of her judgment. Slowly, we began to connect over the long hours of work on the ranch. Caitlyn challenged me, pushed me out of my comfort zone, and I found her tenacity irresistible. Our conversations, once awkward and stilted, blossomed into something deeper, and I felt warmth growing in my heart, a feeling I thought had long since died. As the weeks turned into months, I realized I was falling for Caitlyn, a feeling that terrified and exhilarated me all at once. She embodied everything Miles wasn't: driven, compassionate, fiercely loyal. I treaded carefully, knowing the fragility of my heart, but the connection between us was undeniable, pulling me closer with each shared laugh and late-night conversation. When my divorce was finalized, I felt an immense weight lift off my shoulders. I was free, not just from Miles, but from the chains of my past that had held me captive for so long. It was time to take a leap of faith and embrace this newfound life with Caitlyn, a life I never thought I could have again. One starry night, under the vast Montana sky, I found the courage to propose to Caitlyn. My heart raced as I revealed my dreams of purchasing the neighboring ranch, my aspirations spilling out as I looked into her eyes. Her face lit up with joy, and in that moment, I knew I had found someone worth fighting for, someone who could match my love with her own. Our wedding on the ranch was a beautiful reflection of our journey, surrounded by friends and family who had supported our love. Laughter filled the air, and as I exchanged vows with Caitlyn, I felt a profound sense of belonging, a warmth that enveloped me like a comforting embrace. It was a celebration of our love, of second chances, and the promises of new beginnings. The first year of our marriage was both challenging and fulfilling, filled with hard work and shared dreams. Caitlyn's veterinary business flourished, and we found a rhythm in our lives that felt right. With each passing day, our love deepened, and I often marveled at how far we had come from the pain of my past, grateful for the lessons learned. When the news of Caitlyn's pregnancy reached us, tears of joy streamed down my face. We were finally building the family we both dreamed of. As I felt our baby kick for the first time, I realized that every heartbreak had led me to this moment, this life filled with love, honesty, and hope. Despite the challenges that lay ahead, I knew I had found true love on that Montana ranch. Caitlyn was my partner, my confidant, my greatest supporter, a stark contrast to the betrayal I had known. Every day, when I looked into her eyes, I felt an overwhelming gratitude, knowing our love story was just beginning. Thank you for watching. For more real stories and powerful dramas, be sure to like, subscribe, and explore our I Wove You Too channel.